Yeah, so been a while, hasn't it? Although to be fair, if you watch my other content, it hasn't been a while, but I know some of you are only here for WTF Moments, that's fine. Long story short, my ADHD's been running wild and ruining my life, but other than that, let's talk about Pokémon! We begin today's episode where we left off in the previous one, with Scorbunny on the train to the wild area. And we see Scorbunny thinking about Go and swooning? Huh, a non-human daydreaming about a human? What in the reverse DeviantArt is this? As Scorbunny checks out some of the train's private rooms, it comes across one room with a couple of Bunnelby inside feasting on boxes of carrots. You get it? You get it, guys? It's funny because Bunnelby are rabbits, and rabbits like carrots. Oh, but wait, why isn't Scorbunny interested in the carrots then? Answers on a postcard. Finally, Scorbunny finds Ash and Go's room and is elated to find out they are in fact on the train, even though it already knew they were on the train. Like, them being on the train is the only reason Scorbunny's on the train in the first place. Scorbunny, are you a numpty, mate? And he left the bloody door open. Ash and Go are going to end up getting their stuff nicked, and it'll be all Scorbunny's fault. Way to make a first impression, lad. Well, second impression. Imagine someone just walks up to this guy and asks,
"Excuse me, why is that Pokemon on your head?"
And he just replies,
I mean, why not?
We see Ash struggling with the basic concept of eating bread. So much so that he's way more impressed than he should be at Go's suggestion of breaking it into smaller pieces before eating it. Ash, mate, you've been traveling for like 23 ageless years. How the hell can you be this inept at eating? Scorbunny tries desperately to get Ash and Go's attention, doing everything it could possibly think of. Well, anything besides making any actual sound. Seriously, I've never seen anyone try so hard to get someone's attention while simultaneously trying to do their best to not be noticed by that same person. Scorbunny really is a numpty. Pass it on. Deflated, Scorbunny steals an orange berry from a nearby refreshments trolley. Stealing? That's not very protagonisty. And after taking just a single bite of the berry, Scorbunny proceeds to then Pele kick it without even a moment's hesitation. Who even does that? So now that's stealing and littering. I thought Scorbunny was trying to join the good guys, but it seems like it'd be better off in Team Rocket. Now look, I know I rag on Pokemon a lot for struggling to accurately portray Great Britain. You know, the country that the Galar region is literally based off, but this has to be the biggest example of them really not understanding British culture at all. Allow me to explain. This waiter was struck by Scorbunny's rogue Oranberry, causing him to fall down and spill food all over himself and the floor. And everybody in the carriage turned around and looked at him, shocked and concerned. And what's wrong with that, you ask? If this were an accurate portrayal of British people, the moment that waiter's tray hit the ground and caused all that mess, there would be an immediate and unforgiving choir of "Whoa." Now I know this Munchlax is supposed to be eyeing up all the spilled food, but let's be real. Without context, this just looks like DeviantArt. Moments later, Scorbunny is so busy moping about not getting Ash and Go's attention, even though, like I said, he really didn't try very hard, that it ends up still on the train as it leaves the station where Ash and Go have already hopped off. And honestly, with how much of a twat Scorbunny's been so far, I've got zero sympathy. Wait a minute. Look at that bloke. He's covering up his junk with a grubbin. He's literally
Grubbing these nuts?
Mate, the ticket guy at the train station really pisses me off. Ash and Go ask him about giant-sized Pokemon and he says, "Oh, you must mean Dynamax." And then the only thing he tells them about it is that it's accompanied by red light. Well, come on, mate, give them more than that. Like, you clearly know all about Dynamax since you live in Galar and mentioned it by name. So why be so secretive about it? You're supposed to be there to help people. So for no reason at all, the speeding train brakes for just enough time for Scorbunny to safely jump out the window. Awfully kind of the driver. Apparently the only motivation that Scorbunny needed to start running back towards where Ash and Go were was to think of a flashback of Go doing this. Scorbunny, I really don't know how to say this, but is it possible you're a bit too into Go at this point? Ash Ketchum runs past a bunch of Wooloo, Pokemon native to the Galar region that he's literally never seen before, and doesn't even bat an eyelid. Who are you, and what have you done with Ash Ketchum? Like, this is the kid that gets way too overhyped at Pokemon he's literally seen before and owned before, and now you're gonna tell me he'd overlook Wooloo? Pull the other one, mate, it's got bells on. Oh, of course, but he spots Phantom up in the trees. Are you joking me? So he can see ghostly tree stumps hidden up in a tree after he's already ran past said tree, no less. But he can't see white fluffy sheep in a green field? Bollocks. Hang on though, Pokemon number 706? I gotta be honest, that's a weird looking Goodra. Speaking of, oh look, a Goomy. Surely that's way more interesting than just a Wooloo. Not like you've ever had one of those before, is it, Ash? Standard Ash Ketchum, rides a Flygon, doesn't catch it. Ahaha, you get it? It's funny because Scorbunny almost suffered one of the most horrific deaths imaginable, one that would have absolutely also traumatized the poor train pilot. Pokemon, work on your humor, guys. It's meant to be a kid's show. Ash thinks the red lights at this train crossing are the red lights that accompany Dynamax that the guy at the train station told them about. Ash Ketchum is a numpty. Pass it on. The pair find a Snorlax sleeping under a tree, and Go says this must be a Dynamax Pokemon, and Ash replies,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Ash, what are you talking about, mate? How do you not know that this is a regular Snorlax? You've seen so many of them over the last 20 plus years, and you literally own one. In fact, why have you not mentioned that you literally own one? Something I never forget to mention is that this channel's sponsored by G Fuel! That's right, it's G Fuel, the energy formula with barely any calories, zero sugar, and a whole heap of wonderful flavors like the fantastic Tekken Rage Drive that I'm drinking today. It's inspired by Tekken. Rage Drive is a Tekken thing. All I know is it tastes of cantaloupe and it tastes absolutely bloody lovely. Is it cantaloupe or cantaloupe? I don't know. I just know it tastes real good. Oh, that is absolutely fantastic, and the best part is you can use code ACE to save yourself 20% off your G Fuel order, or 30% off a starter kit. You'll get a shaker and a whole bunch of packs of little flavor testers to try. Go do it. Get yourself 30% off. Try G Fuel today. You'll love it. I know you'll love it because I love it and I've loved it for years. Use code ACE every single time and tweet me pictures of your orders so I can retweet them. Remember though, G Fuel is for over 18s only because it contains caffeine, and children don't need to be anywhere near caffeine. They're annoying enough as it is, and because it contains caffeine, drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead. Back to the episode, and Scorbunny finally catches up to Ash and Go, and once again tries to get their attention whilst also not bothering to make a sound. Scorbunny, mate, it's not hard. You've spent your entire journey saying score and bunny in various combinations. Just pick one of those and use it. Honestly, you're just grating on me now. Ash and Go finally notice Scorbunny, and Ash figures out that Scorbunny wants to be Go's partner. And, like a dickhead, Go turns it down. After all, he's hell-bent on his first Pokemon being Mew. And I'm still annoyed at how stupid this really is. Like, imagine turning down a perfectly good Pokemon who could help you catch Mew, or could even help you find Mew, just because you want your first Pokemon to be Mew. Go, mate. You're a moron. All of a sudden, the Snorlax begins to Dynamax, and you do have to think, if this area has a power spot so things can Dynamax, shouldn't that be signposted somewhere? It's a bit dangerous.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find Snorlax Gigantamaxes here. If it Dynamaxed, it would grow big but still maintain its regular appearance.
Yeah, we know, but it's not that big of a deal. Plus, if you have a problem with people saying Dynamax when they mean Gigantamax, maybe speak to the writers. They're the ones who titled this very episode Mind-Boggling Dynamax, even though technically there are no Dynamax Pokemon in the episode. Oh, and just a side note, Gigantamax Snorlax is ridiculous, and I love it. Ash and Go notice the G-Max Snorlax is now covering the railway tracks. Now, as much as I love trains, I'm far from an expert, but am I correct in thinking that Snorlax really should be getting electrocuted to all hell right now? Let me know in the comments. Pikachu's Thunderbolt merely tickles the Gigantamax Snorlax. And I'll be honest, at first I thought, nah, Pikachu's Thunderbolt's way more powerful than that, isn't it? But then I did the calculations, and a max special attack Pikachu against the Gigantamax Snorlax, assuming max HP and max special defense, would only do like 7% damage. So actually, fair play Pokemon. Accurate depiction. The G-Max Snorlax suddenly fires a Hyper Beam and misses. Oh, that's just classic Hyper Beam, isn't it? It says it's 90% accurate, but we all know that really means 9%. Hang on a minute though, this Snorlax is Gigantamaxed. So any normal type moves it uses, like Hyper Beam, should turn into G-Max Replenish, should it not? Oh, for God's sake, Pokemon, how did you manage to bugger up your first example of Dynamax in the anime? Ash climbs up the Gigantamax Snorlax and the tree on its belly with barely any effort. Ash Ketchum is hench, confirmed. So Ash and Go's plan is to knock this berry into Snorlax's mouth so that it'll jump and move a little like it did before. But like, there's no guarantee that it'll clear the tracks. Would it not be better to keep fighting it? Like, Gigantamax ends after 3 moves. And even if it doesn't, I know Thunderbolt only does like 7% damage like we worked out, but that just means you need to use about 15 Thunderbolts. I'm sure you've got the PP for it. Haha, PP, very funny. Now I'm sure Go crawling out from the flowers with this leaf on his head is probably a reference to something that I just don't get. So let me know if it is in the comments. I'm assuming it's something to do with Zelda or The Last of Us or something. Now here's something that bothers me. Ash told Pikachu to use Iron Tail in the direction that the branch is pointing so that the berry will fall in the correct direction. And after one Iron Tail isn't enough, Ash tells Pikachu to use a bunch of Iron Tails, which Pikachu then hits from the opposite side of the berry. But surely that means the berry's gonna fall in the wrong direction. Pikachu, mate, try and stick to the plan. Direct quote from this train's pilot.
What's that?
I mean, ignoring the fact that it's very obviously a giant Snorlax, it's at least something you should probably be slowing down for, mate. But weirdly, he doesn't even try slowing down. Like in this next shot, after Go and Scorbunny start trying to push the stuck berry, we can clearly see the train still hurtling towards the tracks. This train pilot has a death wish. Pass it on. Although in his defense, he was tooting the horn, so I'm guessing that he thinks in court this will make it Snorlax's fault for not moving. Somehow it takes Scorbunny's feet causing a literal fire in their wake for Go to realize Scorbunny does indeed have feet, which means it can use double kick. Some people just need visual cues, I guess. Also, just bravo to Pokemon for having double kick be the move that saves the day. They knew exactly what they were doing here. As Scorbunny's double kick finally frees the berry and launches it towards the Gigantamax Snorlax's mouth, I can't help but wonder, why was Pikachu's Iron Tail suddenly not strong enough to do this? Like, from the moment the berry dropped from the tree, Pikachu and Ash just kind of stood back and watched Go and Scorbunny struggle. Bit lazy of them, really. Certainly not very protagonisty. Go watches on in horror as Scorbunny plummets into the gaping mouth of Snorlax. And it's at times like this I really wish I didn't know what Vor was. So Snorlax bouncing into the air to eat the berry moved it just shy of the train tracks, leaving enough space for the train to get through. But at the same time, the train finally pulled to a stop mere millimeters from disaster. Sounds to me like Pokemon really couldn't decide which way they wanted to end this peril. It's like they wanted Snorlax to be out the way just in the nick of time, but they also wanted the train to come to a stop just in the nick of time. So I guess in the end they just figured, why not both? All of a sudden, Snorlax then reverts to normal size, which would have been really helpful moments ago. Although it's complete BS, because Snorlax didn't even get its 3 attacks in. Oh yeah, and after Scorbunny miraculously makes it out of Snorlax's mouth, Go decides he wants to catch Scorbunny. Yeah, apparently he's just not fussed about getting Mew first anymore. Seems all it took for Go to give up on his goal was to see another Pokemon using a very basic move. Bit of a flimsy goal then, if you ask me. Of course, Go is elated about catching his first Pokemon. Yeah, that's great, mate. Now go back and get that Kanto starter Cerise was offering you, you twat. Speaking of, here's a direct quote from Professor Cerise.
You say you saw a Dynamax Snorlax.
See, it's not just me saying Dynamax instead of Gigantamax. And this is worse, because this guy's supposed to be a professor. Now, just before the video ends, let me say a massive thank you to our biggest supporters, the Ace Trainer Ultra XL members who are Bro Metapod, Purple Dragonair, Ghost Lupin, Sin City Yeti, Mumbai Cobra, Gear Overlord, Toy Bonnie, TJ the Nerd, Gamer Guy Mike, Night Angel, Lucas Gate, Viridian Folk, Poke Trainer Dean, and G Mendoza. Thank you all so much for your massive support. It means the absolute world to me. So those were my WTF moments for Pokemon Journeys Episode 5 Mind-Boggling Dynamax, even though they really mean Gigantamax. Let me know your favorites and any that I might have missed down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Become a member to support the channel and check out my live streams on this very YouTube channel. Use code ACE for 20% off G Fuel, 30% off starter packs, and until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.